Hi there guys, it's Anthony here from Cutting Edge Guitar. Today I'm going to do another advice and motivation lesson for you, lesson or tip, whichever way you want to look at it. And this one is going to be all about trusting yourself. You've got to trust yourself with music and with your guitar. So what's that all about? Well, over the years I've come across lots of different things with music and playing the guitar that were ideas that I came up with about how I would implement something in my improvisation, with my practice routines, or a technique, something that I'm going to do on my instrument. And I've thought, I've never heard another guitarist do this, so maybe it's not right, maybe I shouldn't do it. And actually that is a kind of a counterproductive way of going about things, because every single time that I've come up with a new device or a new technique or something that works for me that I've thought, oh, I probably shouldn't do this, a couple of months or maybe a couple of years down the line I've heard a guitar idol of mine say that they do something similar, and I've gone, oh well, that now validates this thing that I do, which is silly. I should just have put that into my playing straight away and gone, this works for me, I'm going to go with it. So this isn't just obviously about me, this is something that I've seen across the board with loads of students. So I've been teaching guitar now for 15 years privately, a couple of years before that working for other people. And in that whole time I've seen this so much. People sitting in my studio in here and they'll say to me, well, I've been working on doing this, and they'll play me something and they'll go, but so and so doesn't do it like that, so how I'm doing it is wrong. And I will put it to the student, and I'll put it to you guys now thinking about it. Let's come up with a few of these right now. Eddie Van Halen and tapping. Did he care that no one was doing that before him? No. Frank Gambale. Did he care that everyone was telling him that he should have been alternate picking and not sweep picking? No, because to him it made sense and he could make great music with it, so he went with it, you know. I'll tell you something that I've done over the years. I've got another video on this in my quick tip sessions, all about playing over altered dominant chords. Now, as a rock guitar player that wanted to get into fusion jazz kind of playing, I'm not really like a jazz guitar player. I wanted to get into rock fusion really, so jazz harmony, rock sound, because that's my background, that's what I'm really into. So when I started looking into that, playing over an altered dominant chord was something where I was a bit like, I've got to change scale, or I've got to go to something that I don't particularly know. I mean, you might be playing over some changes where you're changing scale, but mainly I was comfortable with pentatonics and modes of the major scale. I'd get to the altered dominants and I was like, oh, I don't really know all this melodic minor and diminished scales and whole tone scales and all this other stuff. Obviously I do now, but at the time it was like, how am I going to get around playing over that chord when I don't really have a vocabulary for it? So analysing the stuff that you need to play over that chord, I looked at the altered scale, which is called Super Locrian, and the Locrian mode, okay, which is the 7th mode of the major scale. And I just kind of saw, and it's written all in the formulas in all the theory books that you could want to see anyway, but I saw that there's only one note different between those two scales. So that made me think, why don't I just play the Locrian mode that I already know? There's loads of alterations in it, it sounds nasty, and the point is that you playing over an altered dominant chord, you want to sound nasty, and it worked for me. But in the back of my head all the time I had this whole, yeah, but it's because I'm not really using the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, so, you know, it's a cop-out and I'm rubbish. Well, the thing was, years later, I was having a conversation with one of my teachers at the Guitar Institute. I won't name him just in case there's a thing on the, you know, if I get a load of stuff on the channel going, oh, you can't name people or whatever. So I won't name who it was, but he was a prominent jazz guitar teacher at the Guitar Institute. And he said, have you guys ever considered doing this? And he talked about using the Locrian mode on the altered chord. And I was like, well, if it's okay for him, it's okay for me, isn't it? Of course it is. And when you start listening to all of that stuff, transcribing certain players or whatever, there's loads of devices that come from those two scales. You go, well, how's anyone going to know the difference of what that player's thinking if they don't hit that one note that's different, etc., etc. Anyway, the point is, if you come up with a device, whether it's a musical device, a technical device, whatever it is, if you come up with something and you think, this is cool, this works for me, don't worry about what anyone else is going to say about it. Trust yourself. Okay guys, that's it for this motivational and advice video. Please subscribe to the channel to make sure you get a notification the next time I do one of these, or any other lesson for that matter. Please do check out my technique lessons. Make sure that you check out the performance videos that I've done, my practice sessions and all the rest of it. And I will look forward to seeing you in another video. Take care.